Alright, starting again here. I'll make this part 2. I ran up against the 10-minute time limit imposed on me by YouTube. I had a very much better, much funnier video, but it ran about 12 minutes, and I'm just trying to recreate that. So, looking at the underneath now on the V8 Triumph, here's a transmission temperature sender that I added to the Transpan part of this current project. I had a trombone-shaped coil of metal tube on top of the transmission to act as a transmission cooler, and that wasn't working. I had the temperature gauge plumbed into that, and the temperatures were getting a little too high, so I've plumbed the transmission cooler that's in the radiator. It's the Mustang II radiator, by the way, with the Mustang II lines you can kind of see there on the right side of the engine. Again, the exhaust headers 4 into 2 into 1 on each side. A shame you can't see more of that. Mustang II front suspension, and here you can see a little bit of the connection of the new square tube frame to the old Triumph frame, approximately at the firewall. I'm going to stand up here in a moment. So I have the Triumph axle. Long-range plan is to add a Ford 7.5-inch axle, which I have. That's going to be next. Since I happen to have stood up in this spot here, here's the Triumph gauges. They're all connected and continue to operate. I added these gauges here, an electric transmission temperature gauge and a mechanical transmission pressure gauge. Here you can see the transmission again, and the shifter out of the Mustang now is, instead of being connected to the car floor, it's on a bracket that I made, attaches it directly to the transmission. I'll walk around to the other side again. Here's that Mustang II radiator. Laid that back a little bit to make it fit. I've never run the hood hinges, so the latch is back there as well, just kind of flopping around. I've just been tying the hood down with bungee cords. I thought I'd get this going on this go-round, but looks like that'll wait till next time. So from this side of the car, I got the Triumph Stag gauges. The Stag is a V8, so the tack should work. I've got the DuraSpark wired through it now, and after a little bit of driving, it just pegs at 7,000. I don't know if it's just getting too hot inside the car, or if somehow the DuraSpark is sending too much power through it. I've got a few of these off of eBay. I should swap another one in and see how that works. I had to have a very long speedometer cable made to connect the Stag speedometer to the C4, and you can actually see that cable runs right here. Since we're under the car now, that bright blue rod there is the kickdown rod. It took a long time here quite recently to get a shape that wouldn't bang into the Triumph sheet metal. So next time I drive, I should have a kickdown function. Here's the transmission linkage I came up with, and this was as far forward as I could get the shifter. It's a little bit farther back from where the Triumph shifter was. These pieces here, this is a aftermarket transmission tunnel for a Triumph, and it's a little hard to see, but that horseshoe shape around the bell housing is Triumph sheet metal, but it's moved back almost a foot, and it's widened by 2 inches. So my plan is, by cutting up this fiberglass tunnel, to kind of glass it back together a foot shorter and 2 inches wider than it used to be at the front, and have that T-handled shifter poke up through a Triumph shift boot. And I think that's where the battery's going to go permanently. There's nothing currently holding it down, but I made a little frame to hold it in place there. I just haven't finished that. And part of this project, I got the roll bar bolted down finally. I hated to drill holes in the old car like this, but you know, it's the safety thing. There were not holes there before. And once again, this had a Chrysler Slant Six and a push-button automatic when I got it, and I did have to hack more metal off of it to make this fit, but overall I think the car is in much better shape now, and I've done what I could to preserve as much of the original Triumph as possible. This was probably a pretty nice car back in the 70s when I think that earlier conversion was done, and it's a shame, but what's done is done. I'm actually walking over here to get some idea of how much time has gone by, and it looks like I've actually got 3 minutes left, but I'm not sure I have 3 minutes more to say. Got a nicer seat over there, the red one, off of the eBay. Could probably use another nice seat to make a pair, but I haven't got there yet. Here's, I got these wheels at an auction maybe 20 years ago. I've got other Triumphs. These are reverse wheels. Somebody welded a different wheel onto that Triumph center, and then they welded it on backwards to increase the track of the car, but they didn't relocate the valve stem, so I actually had to drill those holes for that valve stem and weld shut the original hole, which of course was on the back side. On the front, it's the Mustang II wheels, and of course the 4-bolt pattern isn't the same front and rear. Once I get that Ranger axle going on at the back, that'll be Ford 5-lug. Then I've got some 11-inch discs for the front that are also 5-lug. But, you know, all this stuff, don't hold your breath on. Well, I think that's going to be it. And I'll probably do this again and hopefully do a better job. Thank you.